Hi everybody, Erica Kern here, and today I am going to be doing a sewing video. I'm going to do a couple sewing videos. I did have a request in my last sewing video when I made the doggy tunnel sleeping bag thing. Today I'm going to concentrate on threading my machine, threading the bobbin, and then the placement of the bobbin in the machine, and then threading that so you're ready to go to sew. So if you didn't quite understand anything like what is a bobbin and all that, I will show you here. And okay, you guys, so let's get started. Okay, you guys, so this is the top of the machine because this is where you're going to start threading the machine. So this is this right here is what you're going to put the thread on. Each machine is different of where this is placed. And you'll see that when I do the other machine, but they all have this holder. So you're going to slide your thread on. And this one comes with a little, I don't know exactly what it's called, but to keep the thread in place since it's lying down. So with this newer machine, you'll see there's numbers. And then there's a number 2 over here. And then 3 is down there. So the newer machines are a little bit easier. They do come with a book. So here's the book that came with this machine. All of them, when you get a brand new machine, come with a book, and in it, it will say how to thread it. So let's see, where is it? So here is the instructions in the book. So it's pretty, these ones can be pretty self-explanatory, but let's go ahead and do it. So number 1 involves this little hook thing right here, where you can easily slide the thread through and then it captures it. So it's not that easy to get out of there. Number 2 is kind of the same thing, but it doesn't hold it. The tension will eventually hold it. So number 3, it just has an arrow down, which is you're going to drag this thread down this gap in the sewing machine, which brings you to number 4, which has this little up arrow, because then you're going to bring the thread back up to number 5. And number 5 is it's another where you're going to hook it behind, and that is actually part of when the needle goes up and down. So number 5 then brings you down. Number 5 brings you down to number 6, which is on this machine is this little bar right here, which actually, so pretty much there is a little hook just like number 5 and number 2, it has a hook behind it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your thread, and I go over the metal piece. Probably should have used a different color thread. So this is over, so you're going to go over, and then it hooks it in there. See, it's like kind of hooked in there. And then from there, you thread your needle. So from there, you thread your needle, which I always try to bring it up to its highest point. And then you take your thread and you thread it through the needle. So that is pretty much the first step to threading the machine. The next step is a bobbin. So a bobbin is when you're sewing on a machine, you have the bottom thread and an upper thread. We just did the upper thread, and the bobbin holds the bottom thread. So a bobbin is pretty much this circular thing, oops, that you have the thread on that goes in the bottom. So let me show you how to thread the bobbin. So just like the other one, the machines are sometimes different. This one is lying flat. So you're just simply going to set the bobbin in there. Then this little bump in the metal here is actually another hook. So you're going to take the thread that's connected to the bobbin and bring it around so that it gets hooked in this piece of metal. This, on these newer machines, it is a lot simpler to do. And just like the top part, I mean, it's kind of, you know, because it's just a dotted line, but on the cover of the bobbin, actually it goes this way, there is another little diagram. Let's see if you guys can see this better. Which is, this is the bobbin. This line, the non-dotted line, the solid line here is this metal piece with the little hook. And this is showing you you're going to wrap the thread around and it will thread it. So once you have those two things threaded, before you put your lid back on, you're going to bring the bottom thread to the top. And what you do, how you do that is you make sure your top thread is long enough so it's not going to come out of the needle. And then every machine has this little knob on the side somewhere. They have a turning knob. And what that does is that lowers, see, I'm turning it now. That lowers and raises the needle. So I'm going to lower the needle into the machine, which picks up the lower thread. So you see that lower thread was moving. So you're going to take the tail of the upper thread and pull that out, which it then hooked. You can see that. Yeah, it hooked. So this loop right here is the thread from the bobbin. So then you're going to pull that out. And then you can put the lid back on your bobbin, on the bottom part of your bobbin. And now your machine is threaded and you're ready to sew. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to actually thread a bobbin, how to get all your thread onto a bobbin. So just like the other part, your book does have a step-by-step with pictures, instructions, but just in case, I don't know, maybe you bought your machine, sorry about shaking, at a thrift store or something, it could be, you might not have the book. So you're going to undo everything you just did. So this would be something you probably do before you thread the machine. So I try to tighten it back up if I did that, or you know, if you're in the middle of sewing a project and you need to thread the bobbin because the bobbin came undone. So you're going to take your thread again and you're going to go through number 1 on this machine, and this machine again has a little diagram on it, which this shows you're going to bring the thread on at least this one, you're going to bring the thread up or to the front and then around it, and then that just captures it a little bit. Then in your bobbin, all bobbins, there's holes. So you're going to take the thread from the inside of the bobbin So you're going to take the thread from the inside of the bobbin and to thread it through that hole to the outside. And you want enough on the outside that you can hold on to. Then, like, so my machine has this part here. You're going to slide your bobbin down and then push it over to lock it into place. And from my experience with all the machines I've used, to thread this, you have to have the machine on. The first part you do not have to have the machine on. This part you have to have the machine on because you're going to actually step on the pedal to make this spin. Okay, so as you can see is I don't have a bobbin in. Everything is ready to go. And then down here, here's my pedal. So I'm going to step on my pedal. But while you're stepping on your pedal, you're going to hold this tail that you have on the outside. Hold it tight. Step on the pedal slowly, don't go too fast. And that will make the bobbin spin. And you're holding it, the thread, until it just breaks. It will eventually twist up enough and it will break off because that's on the inside and you don't want it to get tangled up. See, there it goes. It broke off on its own. You don't want that to get tangled. So then you just let it go until it's full. And I'll show you what happens when it's full. How you know not only the fact that it looks full, but you just let it go. And eventually, see how it just skips? I don't know if you guys caught that. But it's like not turning quite smoothly anymore because it's filling up. There it goes. See, that's not me. That is a machine. I'm not like slowing anything down, but it's not smooth. So pretty much then when it's not turning around smoothly, that means it's that means it's done. Sorry, brain fart. So when that is done, then you can move your bobbin back, take your bobbin off, and then, so all machines have a little cut thing, and mine is this little knob here on this new machine. So you can take your thread and then just pull it down, and then it splits it for you. And then you can go ahead and thread the whole machine again, and you're ready to sew.